To the 2005 County Junior A football final replay between the men from the Western Seaboard, Naomh Eoin, and the men from the town, Eire. As I mentioned, this is a replay. In the previous match, they drew 110 to 13 points. 110 for Naomh Eoin, 13 points for Eire. And indeed, at half-time in that game, they were level as well. Will extra time be needed today to separate these teams? Michael McGann points out to the sideline. He's looking for a ball to get this 2005 County Junior A football replay underway. He has a very experienced team. He has Michael Talty on the line, and he has Tommy Stackpool on the far line. All things ready now for the throw-in. Will Eire gain their 5th title, or will Naomh Eoin get their 3rd title? Previous titles won by Naomh Eoin in the years 91 and 97. So it's all of 8 years since their last title. Eire dealt a hammer blow before the throw-in. They've lost Rory O'Brien to injury. Ball thrown into the middle of the field. Number 9, Martin Hawk, breaks away with the ball. He throws into number 5, Pat Geaney. Pat is going through the middle. Pat is fouled by the Eire number 4, Brian Honan. Referee wags a finger and calls him to him. Ball kicked long and through by Seamus Boland and over the bar for the first score of the 2005 Junior A football final replay. And the ball is ready for the kick out. Eire goalkeeper Billy Woods to kick this left-footed out to the middle of the field. Ball drops in the middle of the field. It's contested by Martin Hawk. Martin Hawk delivers the ball brilliantly to Martin Downs. Martin is surrounded out to his number 10, Garrod Hennessy. Garrod comes down the middle over to Seamus Boland. Great ball from Seamus Boland into the middle. Michael Ledan tips it over to Brendan Ledan. Brendan is beaten for the ball. Now comes the number 2 for Eire, Eugene McNamara. Eugene gets it out to Robbie Malone. Robbie across the middle. It comes to Brian Frawley. Brian kicks long. Picked up by number 10 or number 14, Robert Ford. Robert has the ball in his hands. He kicks a nice ball into Brian Lenihan. Brian tries a shot from an awkward angle and it's signalled wide by the umpire. Very lively opening here by both teams. Naomh Eoin lead on a score of 1 point to no score. The point coming from a free by Seamus Boland. Eire dealt a hammer blow before the throw-in. They lost their very influential forward Rory O'Brien. He scored 5 points from play in the drawn game, but he's replaced by an equally capable player in Brian Lenihan. Ball to be kicked out by John Keating. John kicks long into the middle of the field. Tremendous kick out. Referee deems Martin Downs to have pushed his opponent there, so it's a free in for Eire. Robbie Malone has the ball in his hands. He's looking up for somebody to run into space. He decides to go long into the edge of the square. Ball free. Kieran Keaton takes a quick free out to Martin Hawk. Martin uses the fist pass over to Garrod Hennessy. Garrod gives it back to his number 2, Thomas Hanrahan. Thomas out to Pa Geaney. Pa runs up along this wing. This is his 2nd involvement in play since the game began. Pa cuts inside. He's unsure. He's twisting. He's turning. He gets the ball back to his number 12, Martin Ledan. Martin finds Tony Doherty. Tony lets it out to Martin Downs. Very sharp play. Is it working for Naomh Eoin? It's picked up. Ball kicked high. And ball kicked over the bar. The scorer there was Tony Doherty. Tony came all the way up from half back. There's a great hunger about Naomh Eoin today. They're really pressing forward in numbers. The defenders are attacking in waves. So the score is 2 points to no score. 1 point from a free for Seamus Boland and a point from play by Tony Doherty. Tony had a couple of passes to play in that movement. Ball kicked out by Billy Woods into the middle of the field. Up goes Martin Downs, breaks it down. It comes to Robbie Malone. Robbie is fouled. He lays it off to his number 15, Barry Donnelly, captain of the side. Michael Ledan, captain of Naomh Eoin. Ball kicked long in towards Robert Ford. It breaks down to Brian Lenihan. Brian cuts inside. He's going in along the in-line. He's chased by 2 Naomh Eoin defenders. Pat Foley gets the grips with him. The ball still hasn't gone out. The referee deems a foul tackle by an Eire forward, and the ball is kicked long by Pat Foley out to number 10, Garrod Hennessy. Garrod cuts inside, sends a nice ball in towards Michael Ledan. Back to Garrod Hennessy again. Garrod kicks it diagonally towards Seamus Boland. Seamus goes down on the ball. He twists, he turns. He's well robbed by the number 2, Eugene McNamara. Pa Geaney has the ball. Pa going up the left wing. Pa has played a lot of part in this movement. Seamus Boland up along the wing. He has Michael Ledan for company. He loses possession. Shoulder from Michael Ledan onto the number 6. Niall Daly deemed to be a foul by the referee. Michael began, so a free out to Eire Og. Very positive start by Naomh Eoin. 5 minutes gone into 2005 Junior A replay. Free to be taken by Shawnee Line. Shawnee looks for Brian Frawley. He's well beaten by Martin Hock. Ball breaks. Picked up by Robbie Malone. Robbie gets it back into Shawnee Line. Shawnee comes out to the middle. Gets a long clearance up to the forwards. Well read by Tony Doherty. Ball with Pat Foley. Pat goes long into the Eire Og square. Michael Ledan, was he held back? Was the ball touched on the ground by Shawnee Line? It looked it from here. Number 9, Brian Frawley. The ball is now with Barry Donnelly, captain of the Eire Og team. Barry is fouled. Great pace about this game. Perfect conditions today in Clare. Ball to roll. Barry Donnelly breaks through the tackle. Gives it off to Brian Frawley. Brian is dispossessed by that man Pa Geaney again. Pa's made a very positive start to this county final. Gets it inside to Garrod Hennessy. Garrod gets the ball into the number 14, Dermot Keating. Dermot kicks long to Seamus Boland. Seamus has the ball in the left wing about on the 20 metre line. He cuts across. He's well shadowed. He gets it out to number 17, Brendan Ledan, but unfortunately Brendan's finish is not accurate and he registers the first wide for Naomh Eoin. One wide apiece, but most importantly on the scoreboard, Naomh Eoin have 2 points and Eire Og have no score. 7 minutes gone into 2005 County Junior Football Final replay. Brian Linehan has come into the Eire Og team for Rory O'Brien at the start. Rory had an injury, he didn't succeed in getting over that injury, so Brian has come in. Brendan Ledan has replaced Vincent Hanrahan in corner forward position on the Naomh Eoin team. Naomh Eoin looking for their 3rd title. The ref has gone out to the middle of the field. He's speaking to Barry Donnelly and he's given a yellow card to Barry Donnelly. Barry Donnelly receives a yellow card, as does Thomas Hanrahan. Ball kicked out by Billy Woods, drops down between Martin Hock and he's opposite number 9, Brian Frawley. Ball kicked long. Brian Lennon gets out to it. Ball is dropped by Pat Foley. Attempted clearance. Ball breaking loose. Tony Doherty. Fouled by Martin Hock. On the number 4 for Eire Og, who's Brian Honan. Ball back to Robbie Malone. Robbie looks up and off that players in the Naomh Eoin part of the field. Ball kicked to Brian Lenihan, who's well marshalled by Kieran Keating. Brian Lenihan has the ball. He takes on Kieran Keating. He's robbed by Kieran Keating and he fouls Kieran Keating. Great defensive work by Kieran Keating. Kieran kicks long. Not accurate. It goes to number 4, Brian Honan. Honan cut down the centre of the Naomh Eoin defence. He's fouled. There's a clash. Clash between Martin Ledan, accidental collision between Martin Ledan and Brian Honan. The referee's giving a foul. It's a free into Eire Og and it's on the 45. Almost in front of the goals. Tony Doherty getting a stern lecture from the referee and he gets a yellow card. Yellow card for Tony Doherty. The referee has dished out a number of yellow cards so far. 3 yellow cards, 1 to Thomas Hanrahan, 1 to Tony Doherty. That's 2 on the Naomh Eoin side and 1 to Barry Donnelly on the Eire Og team. Eire Og looking for their 5th Junior A title. Naomh Eoin looking for their third Junior A title. Naomh Eoin were last successful in '97, all of 8 years ago. It's the real David and Goliath clash. The men from the town with all the resources against the team from the western seaboard, Naomh Eoin. Free to be taken on the 45. Kick long by Robert Ford. Kick long and high. Is he accurate? And the ball is over the bar. That's a tremendous free from Robert Ford from 45 metres. He gave it plenty of elevation and he had plenty of accuracy. Very experienced sideline team here as well for Eire. James Hanrahan, the former #1 goalie for Clare, accompanied by Ken Hickey and Ted Finn. And in the Naomh Eoin corner you have John Fennell, Joe Gorman, Gerard Crotty and Oliver Keating. An intriguing game, very positive start to this 2005 County Junior Football Final replay. 11 minutes gone. Kick out to be taken by John Keating of Naomh Eoin. Tremendous kick by John, drops in the middle of the field. Ball breaks. It's won by Garrod Hennessy. Garrod to Pat Foley. Ball by Dermot Keating into the corners, won by Brian Honan. Brian lays it off. Number 13, John Mulcahy. John Mulcahy fouls number 7, Tony Doherty. Naomh Eoin half back line doing very well at the moment. Tony Doherty and Pat Geeney playing quite well. Pat Foley, the centre half back, comes over to take the free. Instructions to the Naomh Eoin forwards to move in. Long ball from Pat. Looks for Michael Ledan. This is Michael's first real involvement in the game since we started. He's cutting through the Eire defence. He's fouled by the number 4, Brian Honan. And it's a free into Naomh Eoin. An excellent ball from Pat Foley up into the corner. Found Michael Ledan. Michael took on his man, cut through the Eire defence, and they had no option but to foul him. Very kickable free here now for Seamus Boland. Seamus, the number 11, he's hoping to put his second point on the board after 12 minutes of this County Junior A football final replay. Seamus kicks it high and he kicks it through. So 2 frees for Seamus Boland. 1 point from play from Tony Doherty, and a very important incision into the Eire defence there by Michael Ledan. Michael was very influential in the drawn game. Has got little to do so far, but the bit he has to do is very important. The pace has dropped a little, not surprisingly, after the very hectic start by both teams. Kick out for Eire to be taken by Billy Woods. Billy left-legged. Comes out. Launches the ball into the middle of the field against the slight breeze. Picked up by number 9, Brian Frawley. Fergus Flynn. Into number 13, John Mulcahy. John Mulcahy to the number 10, David Ryan. David crosses the edge of the square. Well picked out by Kieran Lynch. Kieran gets it to Dermot Keating. Dermot is moving forward slowly, gives it off to Michael Ledan. Michael twists and turns, kicks the ball diagonally, but it's well cut out by the Eire defence. A poor ball there from Michael Ledan. It's with Brian Frawley. To Niall Daly. Niall is crossing the field. He's turning, he doesn't have anywhere to go. He pulls in the ball, it's picked up by Martin Hawk. Martin Hawk out to Martin Downs. Martin Downs is deemed to have thrown the ball. Naomh Eoin don't agree with that decision. Ball is in the hands of Fergus Flynn. No movement in that Eire forward line. Kieran Keating gets up over Brian Lenihan. Clears the ball. Tony Doherty is fouled. Tony looks to take the quick free, he's impeded, and Tony decides to go long. He finds Michael Ledan. It's a bit high for Michael. Picked up by Shawnee Line. Shawnee breaks out of defence, takes a return pass. Gives the ball out to his number 10, David Ryan. Back to number 5, Paul Madden. Paul kicks it long. It's well won by the number 2, Thomas Hanrahan. To Pat Foley. Pat is on his bike, moving up the centre of the Eire defence. Poor pass to Michael Ledan. Picked up by Robbie Malone. Robbie kicks it long between Kieran Keaton and his opposite number, Brian Lenihan. Ball picked up by Tony Doherty. Was he fouled? Gets it away to Martin Hawk. Ref plays advantage. Dermot Keating Tackled by Brian Frawley. Even though Brian is wearing the number 9, he's wearing the wrong jersey. Player gone to ground. It's gone a little bit messy now around the middle of the field. Barry Donnelly and Dermot Keating exchanging greetings. Dermot is called aside by the referee, Michael McGann. Michael is keeping a strict hand on happenings today. Will he be dishing out a yellow card to Dermot Keating? If he does, it'll be Naomh Eoin's third yellow card inside 15 minutes of this count, and it is indeed a yellow card for Dermot Keating. They'll be happy to be leading 3 points to 1, but they're also leading 3 points or 3 yellow cards to 1. A little slippage in discipline in the Naomh Eoin team. Robert Ford has the ball in his hands. Can he repeat the previous score? He's a little bit further out. He's going for it. Kicks long. It's high, but it's to the left, and it's gone wide. So Eire registered their second wide of the half. Naomh Eoin on 1 wide. But most importantly on the scoreboard, Naomh Eoin lead 3 points to 1. A bout of poor passing has crept into the Naomh Eoin play over the last few minutes. Eire are playing into a slight breeze. It's a lovely day for football here in Clare. Perfect conditions really when you consider the time of the year we have, well into November. Ball kicked out by John Keating, drops in the middle of the field. Picked up by John Mulcahy, back to Robbie Malone. Robbie looks up, kicks it towards Robert Ford. Back over to David Ryan. David Ryan trying to find Fergus Flynn. Fergus picks the ball up. He's got a lot of short passing here now. Number 11, Brendan Rochford. It tails there. It's not gone wide. It's picked up by Brian Frawley. Brian is straight in from his midfield position. Well blocked down by Kieran Lynch. Ball picked up by Barry Donnelly. A bout of pulling and dragging. Very late decision there by Michael McGann. He took his time making that decision. That's a controversial decision by Michael McGann, but he's the man that counts, and he's decided it's a free in. Now, the ball is on the ground. He's moved away from the play, and it's a free into Eire to be taken by Barry Donnelly. A chance for Barry to reduce the deficit. They're 2 points behind at the moment. They've won 3 points, Eire 1. 17 minutes gone in the county junior final of 2005. Barry kicks and he registers another wide for Eire. Eire 3 wides, Naomh Eoin 1 wide, but Naomh Eoin have the most important lead. They lead on the scoreboard 3 points to 1. Will the County Junior A title of 2005 rest back in the villages of Cross and Kilbaha tonight, or will it go to the capital of the county, that is to Ennis? Kick out to be taken by John Keating. Possession being won regularly now by Eire in the middle of the field, even though they're not transferring that to the scoreboard. Kick long by John Keating. Ball drops in the middle of the field. Brian Frawley rises. Well picked by Dermot Keating. Best bit of fielding today. Dermot goes to ground. Lays it off back to number 2, Thomas Hanrahan. Thomas kicks blindly down the field, straight into the hands of the waiting Robbie Malone. Robbie kicks a beautiful diagonal ball over to his number 10, David Ryan. David looks inside. Ball half intercepted by Martin Downs, picked up by number 4, Kieran Keating. Kieran kicks long, picked up again by Niall Daly. Niall, bit of interplay, Niall receives it again. A very, very high tackle. Was that by Martin Downs? Some of the Eire players don't like that tackle. It looks like Martin Downs will be the 4th Naomh Eoin player to make his way into the referee's yellow book. Some handbag stuff developing over there now. Rather messy. Referee calls Martin Downs aside to give him a stern lecture. Fergus Flynn gets to his feet gingerly after that tackle. And yes, a yellow is dished out to Martin Downs in the middle of the field for Naomh Eoin. Ball in the hands of Robert Ford. Robert has already 1 point from a free. Is this asking too much? He's on the 45-metre line, but he's way out on the sideline. Kicking out towards the car park and kicking into the teeth of a light breeze. Referee is after giving a black card to Paul Medal, and as a result he's going to throw up the ball for whatever happened. Ball has been thrown up between Robert Ford and Martin Downs is arriving. Ford had the ball, Martin Downs bends down, picks it up, breaks out of a ruck of players. Lays the ball off. Garrod Hennessy is fouled. Fouled by Barry Donnelly. The referee decides to give Barry Donnelly a ticking. Garrod is slow to rise to his feet. Pat Foley walks over, gives instructions to Martin Downs to move on. He's going to take this free. And he'll be looking for Seamus Poland and indeed for Michael Ledan. Robbie Malone playing very well in the centre of the Eire defence, has cut out a lot of dangerous ball down there. Indeed, it's that man Malone again. Foul on Shawnee Line. Ball given to Fergus Flynn. Fergus ducks inside, moving up through the Naomh Eoin defence. He's faced by Martin Downs. He gets the ball in, gives it away to Tony Doherty. Tony kicks long. Michael Ledan is in space. He's chased by Robbie Malone. Robbie given the duty today, keeping an eye on Ledan. He cuts inside. He's moving across. He's getting in line for a shot. He takes a fantastic score. Okay, ball to be kicked out by the Eire keeper Billy Woods. Billy kick long, drops on the 45. Well contested by Robert Ford. He doesn't succeed in holding on to the ball. Picked up by Dermot Keating. Dermot to Michael Ledan on his left foot. Is it a good one? No, it's gone to the right and wide. So Michael has registered his second wide in a number of minutes. Teams level and wides. Naomh Eoin 3, Eire 3. Most importantly in the scoreboard, Naomh Eoin lead by 4 points to 1. But twice in the drawn game they led by 4 points on 2 occasions in that drawn game. They didn't succeed in holding on. Will the same pattern develop today? Billy Woods getting very busy over the last few minutes. Billy kicks out, drops again just beyond the 45. Contested by Dermot Keating. Referee calls and gives a free to Eire. 25 minutes gone in this match. Ball kicked by Fergus Flynn. Well cut out by Garrod Hennessy. He's playing a lot of ball today. To Tony Doherty, who's very influential for Naomh Eoin. Back to Garrod Hennessy. Some nice football here by Naomh Eoin. To Seamus Poland. He's cutting across the field. He ships a couple of tackles. He kicks long, but he kicks high and he kicks wide. Nice interplay there between Tony Doherty, Garrod Hennessy and Seamus Poland. Seamus was put under enough pressure by the Eire defenders to kick that ball wide. Breeze seems to be rising here today in Clare. Naomh Eoin lead by 4 points to 1, but they're aided by a breeze which is stiffening by the minute. Again, Billy Woods is kicked out, getting very busy. Ball drops again, just on the 45. Well contested by Martin Downs. Dermot Keating has picked it up, and Dermot earns a free from the referee, Michael McGann. Who will take this free? Michael Ledan took one from a similar angle, or Michael Ledan took it from a similar angle. A number of minutes ago, put it wide. Seamus Poland, the usual free taker, is addressing this. A difficult kick. Breeze at his back and he's out to the right. It doesn't suit a right-legged kick-out. He's going straight on, difficult technique. As he brought it in, he kicked across the ball, but it's gone left and wide. So Naomh Eoin have registered their 5th wide of this half. Eire got 3 wides. Naomh Eoin lead on the scoreboard 4 points to 1. The pendulum has swung in Naomh Eoin's favour over the last 5 minutes. Eire had a period of dominance. They didn't convert it into scores. Now it's Naomh Eoin's turn not to convert their period of dominance into scores. Billy Woods, middle of the field. Up goes Robert Ford. He comes down. Great bit of fielding by Robert Ford. Referee. What signal is he making? Is he pointing for a free in? He's given the free, yes, Eire have earned their free. Robbie Malone kicks long towards his number 13, John Mulcahy. John turns. What'll he do with it? He's looking for players in space. He's going into the centre of the Naomh Eoin defence. He's pulled. Referee calls a foul. The ball has been given to Robert Ford. Robert scored Eire's only score from a similar distance. Can he repeat the trick? Robert, of course. Is he on target? It looks very good. It's an excellent score from Robert Ford. "28 minutes gone in the 2005 County Junior Football Final replay, first half. Ball kicked out by John Keating, drops in the middle of the field. Robert Ford contests, picked up again by Robbie Malone. At this stage, probably man of the match, certainly on the Eire side. Out to his number 10, David Ryan. Back to Robbie again. Robbie has a very cultured left foot. Bit high is it for Brian Lenihan. Lenihan pulls away. He's fouled. He was fouled by Kieran Keating. Eire are not happy that he didn't get the advantage. Ball again to be picked up by Robert Ford. More difficult shot than his previous two. He's further out towards the sideline on the open side here in Clare. It would be some feat to put this over. He kicks long. It's gone out to the right. Is it gone wide? Yes. Ball has gone wide, particularly on the Naomh Eoin side. 6 wides for Naomh Eoin, 4 wides for Eire. John Keating kicks the ball long. Drops on top of Martin Downs and Robert Ford. Very strong fist by Robert Ford. Barry Donnelly, soccer style, lays it off to his number 10, David Ryan. There's a bit of kicking going on, that a wild kick. Wild kick by an Naomh Eoin defender. Gives an easier free to Robert Ford. It's picked up by Barry Donnelly. Barry Donnelly to take this free for Eire. Can he put the minimum between the teams as we approach half-time in the 2005 County Junior Football Final? Barry Donnelly, captain of the team. The responsibility has been handed over to Barry to take this free. Robert Ford has already converted 2 frees for Eire. Can Barry make this 3? Barry kicks long, kicks high. Has it the legs? Indeed it has. Eire have registered their 3rd point, all from frees of this first half. Naomh Eoin have 4 points, 1 from play by Michael Ledan, 1 from play by Tony Doherty, and 2 frees by Seamus Boland. All of Eire's scores in this first half have come from frees, 2 from Robert Ford and 1 from Barry Donnelly. Switch on the Eire team. Robert Ford has gone out to midfield. Fergus Flynn has gone into centre forward, and Pat Foley. And the referee calls a halt to the first half of the 2005 Junior Football Final. A half in which Eire are 1 point behind. Naomh Eoin 4 points, Eire 3 points. Welcome back to the second half of the 2005 Junior Football Final replay between Eire and Naomh Eoin. On the scoreboard, Naomh Eoin lead by 4 points to 3. Change on the Naomh Eoin team. Vincent Hanrahan, number 13, comes in for Brendan Ledan, number 17. Middle of the field now we have Brian Frawley and number 11 for Eire, Brendan Rochford. Fergus Flynn has gone to centre forward. Barry Donnelly is out wing forward and Pagini. Robert Ford has gone back into his full forward position. Ball picked up by Brendan Rochford, lays it back again to number 7, Robbie Malone. Out to number 10, David Ryan. He's well shepherded by Tony Doherty. The ball kicked long into the Naomh Eoin defence. Was there a push? Referee gives a push on the Naomh Eoin defender. Free to be taken by Pat Foley. Pat Foley, centre back on the Naomh Eoin team. Pat kicks long towards his number 12, Martin Ledan. Martin has gone to ground. Foul called on Robert Ford. Robert as yet hasn't entered the referee's book, and it looks like his name is going to be taken here, and he gets a ticking from the referee Michael McGann. Again, free to be taken by Pat Foley. Naomh Eoin leading 4 points to 3. Nice ball into Michael Ledan. Can Michael Ledan take on his man? Michael Ledan is fouled by the number 6, Niall Daly. Referee calls over Niall Daly. Michael Ledan leaves the free to Seamus Boland. And Niall Daly goes into the referee's book, but it's a ticking. Niall, son of Paddy Daly. Niall very influential in this Eire team. Ball kicked by Seamus Boland. Seamus gets it on the meat, and it's another point for Naomh Eoin. Seamus Boland scores his third free. Eire are now 2 points in arrears. Naomh Eoin 5, Eire 3. A costly foul there on Michael Ledan. Naomh Eoin, of course, will be hoping to get that ball into Seamus Boland and Michael Ledan as much as possible. Seamus Boland has gone into the left corner. Vincent Hanrahan is in full forward on Shawnee line. Ball kicked out long into the middle of the field. Martin Hawk rises. Ball breaks down to Robert Ford. Robert goes long. A very accurate ball from Robert Ford. Picked up by the number 13, John Mulcahy. John's jersey is pulled. Great bit of play there. Great ball into John Mulcahy. Took on his opposite number, went right through the Naomh Eoin defence, and they had no option but to foul him. Black book for Kieran Keating. Barry Donnelly to take this free, and is Barry. Handy free for a free taker of the calibre of Barry Donnelly. Barry addresses the ball on the 20-metre line with his right foot, puts it over the bar. Quick reply from Eire. Eire have 4 points, but strangely enough they haven't scored yet from play. 2 points from frees for Robert Ford, 2 points from frees for Barry Donnelly. So no score from play in 30 minutes of football. Naomh Eoin of Seamus Boland with 3 points from frees, Michael Ledan 1 from play, and Tony Doherty from play. Kick out to be taken by John Keating. John with a cap to keep the sun out of his eyes. We've sun in November. A strange phenomenon in Ireland. Ball breaks in the middle of the field. Picked up by Tony Doherty. Tony has played a lot of ball today. Martin Hawk, does he dwell too long? Kicks the ball towards the side, and difficult ball from Michael Ledan. Well picked up, and another foul on Michael Ledan. Michael, unbelievably, gives the ball away to Brian Frawley. He undoes all his good work. Fergus Flynn into Brian Lenihan. Brian takes on Kieran Keating up along the left wing. Kieran Keating puts in, good shoulder by Keating. Referee runs over. I think he's going to throw up this ball. Brian Lennon took on Kieran Keating. Good defending by Keating. The referee is speaking severely to Kieran Keating. Is Kieran going to enter his black book? Or is it Garrod Hennessy? It looks like Garrod Hennessy. And a yellow card for Garrod Hennessy for his troubles. Now, Garrod wasn't involved in that incident at all. It was between Kieran Keating and Brian Lenihan, but Garrod Hennessy is there, and it must have be something he said. Garrod Keating is asked to keep his mind on the game. Now the referee is giving a free out to Naomh Eoin. Ball kicked long, but not very cleverly. That was a poor free out of defence, right into the hands of the grateful Robert Ford. And if Robert could kick 45s from against the breeze in the first half, this is surely well within his compass. He'll certainly have the distance. Will he have the accuracy? Naomh Eoin 5 points, Eire 4 points. Free right on the 45-metre line, about 20 metres to the left of the goal. Robert kicks it long. He kicks it high. Is there a tail on it? There is indeed a tail on it. The ball has gone wide. Eire have registered their 5th wide at a half. Niall Daly keeping a close eye on Michael Ledan. Ball to be kicked out. The referee, Michael McGann, has decided to go up and have a word with Niall Daly and Michael Ledan. He's asking them to concentrate on football. Peace has been restored. One of Naomh Eoin's most dangerous forwards, Michael Ledan, being well shepherded there by Niall Daly at the moment. Kick out to be taken by John Keating. John with the cap on his head to keep the sun out of his eyes. Ball drops. Robert Ford with that big fist again. He's winning a lot of possession in the middle of the field. John Mulcahy tries a snapshot, but it's to the left and wide. Eire behind on the scoreboard 4 points to 4, but in the wides tally they've taken the lead. Eire 6 wides, Naomh Eoin 5 wides. Robert Ford very influential in the middle of the field now for Eire. He's breaking every ball and he's driving it back into the back into the Naomh Eoin defence. Can Naomh Eoin lift the siege here? Ball drops again. Ford crashes the ball down to Fergus Flynn. Ball in towards Brian Lenihan. Well cut out by the Naomh Eoin defender Kieran Lynch, but unbelievably gives the ball away again to the number 11. And that ball is high, well blocked down by John Keating. Number 11 there was Brendan Rochford. A very good effort from Brendan. Well collected by John Keating. Ball is transferred to Pat Foley. Pat Foley up to the number 12, Martin Ledan. Martin Ledan kicks long in towards Michael Ledan. Michael Ledan picks the ball in the turn. Niall Daly is left for dead. Robbie Malone comes across. Ledan shoots. The ball is over the bar. And that movement started all the way back with John Keating, who fielded the effort by Brendan Rochford. He fed it out towards Pat Foley. Pat Foley got it up to Martin Ledan. Martin Ledan into Michael Ledan. Michael Ledan left Niall Daly for dead and got past the despairing tackle of Robbie Malone. Took a shot for goal, well blocked by the keeper Billy Woods, deflected over the bar, and Naomh Eoin are now leading by 6 points to 4. And the excitement level is really pumping up here in Clare this evening. Ball won by Dermot Keating. He's in front of Robert Ford. Feeds the ball back to Martin Downs. Martin is undecided. He loses possession to Barry Donnelly. Barry gives it to Fergus Flynn. Fergus Flynn to that man Brian Lenihan. He loses the possession to Kieran Keating. Martin Downs, ball going over the sideline. And the ref, Tommy Stackpool, as he's flagging the air, Martin Downs is adamant that it's a Naomh Eoin ball. The referee has made no decision as of yet. Linesman has decided that the ball is going to Robert Ford. Now Eire are making a change. Rory O'Brien is coming into the fray. Rory, of course, injured after the replay. Scored 5 points from play that day. Gave a man of the match performance against Naomh Eoin the first day. And Rory ball kicked long by Robert Ford, dropping to the right and wide. Number 10, David Ryan has made way for Rory O'Brien. Rory carrying a heavy bandage to his foot, to his thigh.
Substitution on the Eire team.
Naomh Eoin mentors getting plenty of advice here from the stands about watching the breaks.
David Ryan.
That old adage about the best hurlers being somewhere else except in the field comes to mind. Martin Downs up to the ball. Out to number 2, Thomas Hanrahan. Gives possession away. Number 4, Brian Honan, comes hungrily onto the ball. Brian Lennon, well shepherded by Kieran Keating. There's a great tussle between these two. Lenihan gets inside the tackle of number 12, Martin Ledan. He still has the ball. He kicks a very intelligent ball to Brian Frawley, but Brian is not on the same wavelength as Brian Lenihan. Ball picked up by Pagini to Michael Ledan. Michael Ledan gives it to Dermot Keating. Some nice football being played by Naomh Eoin here. Michael Ledan is on his bike. He won't be caught by number 4, Brian Honan. He drops the ball. Brian gets back. He's gone from Brian again. How many Eire Og players around him? Is he fouled? He is indeed. Shawnee Lyon puts his hand up. Shawnee looks to be in a slight bit of bother in there. Michael Ledan now is causing untold havoc in the Eire Og defence. Fantastic bit of football there by Naomh Eoin. It transferred to several pairs of hands. Ended up with Michael Ledan taking on, it looked like from here, the whole Eire Og defence. There were certainly 3 or 4 players around him. He cut through, he was fouled. So it's a chance for Seamus Boland to increase Naomh Eoin's lead. 6 points to 4 at the moment. 10 minutes gone in the second half of this 2005 Junior A football final replay in Clare. Seamus kicks. He curls it beautifully. Oh, that's a fantastic score. Seamus put a beautiful spin on that ball and over the bar. John Fennell takes a swig out of the magic bottle here. Is it going to be Naomh Eoin's day? Early days yet, 11 minutes gone. They now lead by 3 points. Remember, they led by 4 in the original game and they still lost the lead. So will there be doubts there in the minds? Or have they worked on them mentally over the last 2 weeks? Ball kicked long in. Brian Frawley rises. He loses the ball to Garrod Hennessy. Naomh Eoin are well on top now. Dermot Keating gives the ball into that man Ledan on his trusty left foot. And it's over the bar. Michael Ledan is absolutely destroying the Eire Og defence at the moment. No wonder John Fennell is smiling to himself and urging on his charges. James Hanrahan is trying to get life back into the Eire Og defence. 8 points to 4, a 4-point lead. Will Naomh Eoin hold that lead today, or will they squander it? Remains to be seen. We've about 17 minutes left. Ball breaks. Barry Donnelly, the captain, comes out, wins his free. Barry, captain of the Eire Og team, is coming out to try and get life into his charges around the middle of the field. Barry gingerly gets to his feet, getting some sustenance from the magic bottle. Almost 13 minutes gone in the 2005 Junior A football final replay. Naomh Eoin lead 8 points to 4. Robbie Malone with the free. Robbie kicks it deep into the defence. But that man, Kieran Keating again. He's marking probably Eire Og's most dangerous forward, Brian Lennon. He's given a man of the match display in there. Superb defending by Keating. Leaves it to Pat Foley, his centre back. Foley gives a nice ball out to Pagini, number 5. Very constructive football being played by Naomh Eoin now. Back to Martin Downs. Into Keating. He's getting ambitious. He's coming forward. He gives a lovely ball to Martin Ledan. Martin Ledan into Garrod Hennessy. Great football being played by Naomh Eoin here. Number 4, Brian Honan. Into Michael Ledan. He's off again. And he's brought to ground by number 4, Brian Honan. Brian Honan hasn't been booked, but it looks like he'll be entering the referee's book at this stage. There's absolute chaos in the Eire Og defence when Michael Ledan is on the ball. They really don't know what to do with him. If Kieran Keating is effective in the backs, certainly Michael Ledan is equally effective in the forwards, as is Seamus Boland, who has put over some lovely frees. He has scored 4 points from frees. Michael Ledan has 3 points from play. And Tony Doherty has that point from half-back. Ball returned to Seamus Boland from Michael Ledan. Boland gets ready, kicks high, but it's gone to the right and it's gone wide. Great pressure being applied by Naomh Eoin now. Another Eire Og sub coming in, Eamon O'Reilly, number 18. Naomh Eoin supporters getting excited in the background. Will there be bonfires blazing in Cross and Kilbaha tonight? Will Tom Bonfield go back to West Clare or will he hit back to Limerick? It'll all be decided in the next 15 minutes. Ball drops. Picked up by the number 5, Paul Madden. Tommy Stackpool in to referee this. Robbie Malone with the ball. The ball is knocked out of Robbie Malone's hand by Garrod Hennessy. Now Garrod would need to concentrate on the game, not get involved in childish antics. Ball kicked long. Picked up by John Mulcahy, but the ball has gone out over the sideline. Is this to be Naomh Eoin's day? They have 15 minutes to regain the title they last won in '97. Will this be their third title? They're well on top at the moment, but every team gets a few minutes. Long ball from Pat Foley to Robbie Malone. Robbie is in a superb game for Eire in that defence. Ball is with Barry Donnelly. Back to that man, Robbie Malone again. Robbie looks up. Strongly built player. Kicks the ball long and dangerously into the Naomh Eoin defence. There's a man on the ground in there. Ball worked out coolly by Martin Hawke. Dermot Keating. Referee is being called in by the umpire.
Substitution.
Brian Frawley hit the ground.
Number 18, Eamon O'Reilly, replaces number 4, Brian Honan.
Brian Honan is being replaced by Eamon O'Reilly. The umpire was called the referee. Brian Frawley dropped to the ground. The referee is making no decision. He's looking for the ball and he's going to throw up the ball. Fergus Flynn and Martin Downs. Martin gives away a free. Rather silly free now to be giving away. The ball is in the hands of Barry Donnelly. We have played approximately 47 minutes of this county final. Eire have yet to register a score for play. Barry Donnelly steadies himself with his right foot from about 35 metres, kicks the ball high and through and over the bar. Another point for Barry Donnelly, his third from frees. Robert Ford has scored 2 from frees. But most importantly on the scoreboard, Naomh Eoin lead by 8 points to 5. Will the men from the capital reduce that deficit and get back into this game? They did it the last day. On 2 occasions they came from 4 points in arrears. So it's certainly not beyond them. And they will know that. Naomh Eoin need to get their hands on that ball and start attacking like they did previously. 8 points to 5. Naomh Eoin 8, Eire 5. 18 minutes gone in the second half. Some irate Naomh Eoin followers are calling the linesman's attention to some happenings. What has been a very sporting game is beginning to deteriorate now into some niggly battles. Ball drops between Fergus Flynn and Martin Hawke, broken down by Fergus Flynn. Ball is on the ground. Pat Foley puts his head down and picks it up. Martin Downs to Martin Hawke. Martin kicks long. It's going to be picked up by Niall Daly. Niall comes out, kicks the ball out the wing to Robbie Malone. Robbie is shepherded by Pat Foley. Pat is miles away from his defensive duties. Ball worked out by Naomh Eoin, or by Eire. Free for Eire to be taken by Robbie Malone. Fergus Flynn to Robbie Malone. Robbie Malone to the number 2, Eugene McNamara. Into Rory O'Brien, the substitute. He did it the last day. Can he do it today? He runs across the field. He goes to ground. Picked up by Shawnee Lyne. Shawnee into number 23, Brian Lenihan, who hits the post. What a miss. Number 8, Fergus. Brian Frawley. A fantastic save by John Keating. But how did Brian Lenihan miss that opportunity? He got around his marker onto his left foot and he absolutely thundered the ball off the post. Ball came down to number 8, Brian Frawley. Point blank at John Keating. John Keating threw himself to the ground, and certainly if the cup goes back to the villages of Cross and Kilbahan tonight, they can thank John Keating for that wonderful save. The pressure is on now. Eire are attacking. Number 11, Brendan Rochford. What will Brendan do? Will he go for the score or will he drop it in? It's a dangerous ball. Robert Ford rose for it. This is Rory O'Brien. Rory kicks a beautiful ball into the square. Robert Ford. Well picked by Kieran Lynch. Rory O'Brien certainly feeling the effects of that injury. That's very good play by Martin Ledan. Martin Ledan up along the wing. Right wing, he looks up. He gives it into Michael Ledan. Or Vincent Hanrahan. Vincent Hanrahan tries to cut inside. Gives the ball off to Michael Ledan. What does Michael do? Puts the ball over and it's wide. Everybody this side of the field thought that ball was over the bar, but there was a tail in it and it's gone wide. From a Naomh Eoin point of view, they've lifted the siege. Number 24, Gary Flynn, has been introduced to the action. If this cup goes to Naomh Eoin this evening, they will look back, Eire mentors will look back at Brian Lenihan's miss off the post and a fantastic save from Brian Frawley by John Keating. Ball has been kicked out by Billy Woods. Brian Frawley has been withdrawn from the fray and Gary Flynn goes in. Ball breaks to Martin Hawk. Martin, very cute, stayed down. He threw that ball. Shawnee Line takes the free, kicks wide over to number 12, Rory O'Brien. Rory not moving with the usual fluency due to that thigh injury. He plays it soccer style around Kieran Lynch. Kieran, great defending by Kieran Lynch and Kieran Keating. Out to number 7, Tony Doherty. Tony out to Martin Downs, to Dermot Keating. Naomh Eoin are certainly playing now with confidence. Fitness levels will tell quite an amount in the last 10 minutes of this game. Ball into number 12, Martin Ledan. Poor use of the ball there by Naomh Eoin. Ball kicked by Robbie Malone into Shawnee Line. Shawnee doesn't know what to do. He goes long. Straight down to Pat Foley. A mix up between Kieran Keating and Pat Foley. The ball is returned to Pat Foley by Tony Doherty. Out to Martin Downs. Martin kicks it into Martin Ledan, but again it's out over the sideline in a similar position.
Substitution on the Eire team, number 24, Conor McNamara, replaces number 8, Brian Frawley.
Conditions underfoot here getting very sticky at the moment. Peter O'Connell is sorry he didn't bring his Weltons to this game. Number 25, John Griffin, introduced for Eire. Gerard Hennessy been withdrawn from the fray. Number 17 is Bernard Ledan. Brendan Ledan. Okay, ball with Gary Flynn. Gary cuts inside, gets it into Fergus Flynn. To Barry Donnelly. Barry gets it onto his number 2, Eugene McNamara. To Fergus Flynn. This is a dangerous attack by Eire. Out to the wing to John Mulcahy. John cuts inside. Kicks the ball across the square to number 11, Brendan Rochford. Rochford kicks high. Kicks it over the bar. Eire are not finished yet. Naomh Eoin 8 points, Eire 6 points. We have approximately 6 minutes of normal time left in this game. Rory O'Brien has been withdrawn from the Eire team. Obviously that injury has interfered with Rory. A huge loss to Eire. He was outstanding in the drawn game. Can Naomh Eoin hold on to this precarious 2-point lead? Or can Eire come back into it? The referee is going in speaking to John Keating. giving him a severe warning, obviously for time delay. Ger Crotty strides up and down the sideline here. He's getting excited at the thought of the Junior A Championship returning to Naomh Eoin. Wishful thinking, 5 minutes left. John Keating in no hurry. Obviously the referee's going dead on time. Kicks it long. Out to Pat Foley. Well fielded by Foley. Very, very solid in the centre of defence there for Naomh Eoin. Pat has gone to ground. Martin Downs is looking for attention for Pat Foley. Naomh Eoin have a 2-point lead. Can they hold on to that 2-point lead? Eire Oak have thrown in several subs. Eamon O'Reilly, Gary Flynn, John Griffin have entered the fray. Naomh Eoin supporters praying that the referee will blow up time as soon as possible. Pat Foley gets to his feet. There's 5 minutes of football to be played yet. Pat drives long up towards Seamus Boland and Michael Ledan. Ball cut out by Robert Ford. Robert passes to Fergus Flynn, to Barry Donnelly. The experienced men coming to the fray. Well cut out by Thomas Hanlon. However, he loses the ball to John Mulcahy. To Barry Donnelly. Barry looking up, trying to find a player. Shawnee Lyon has now gone up to forwards. He's left his defensive post. He's gone up into the forwards. Slips it inside to number 25, John Griffin. To Gary Flynn. A lot of messing by the Eire Oak forwards. Ball picked up by Dermot Keating. His father Bernie will be very happy if Naomh Eoin can stay 2 points ahead. Michael Ledan turns, gone out over the sideline. Michael Talty has called it over there. Michael, an experienced referee, deemed that he carried the ball all over the line. Robert Ford has the ball in his hands. Naomh Eoin have 4 minutes to hold on to this 2-point lead. And holding on they are. Ball won by John Mulcahy. He has played a lot of ball in this second half. Ball with Brian Lenihan. Brian is going nowhere. He takes on his man Kieran Keating. Comes outside onto his left foot. It's dropping into the square. Ball breaks. It's in the back of the net. Referee has given a free out. What a close call for Naomh Eoin. Referee deemed that the ball had dropped in the square and Eire Oak players are in there before the ball. That was a close call for Naomh Eoin. Is it a sign of things to come? 2 minutes of ordinary time. Great clearance by John Keating to their main man up front, Michael Ledan. Michael is fouled. Pat Foley trots across. Michael Ledan is tired. He's exhausted. He's done an awful lot of running today. Ball kicked to Pat Beanie. Picked up by number 13, Wilson Hanrahan. Into Martin Ledan. The field opens up in front of him. Martin kicks high, but he kicks it wide. Will they regret that wide? Wide number 8 for Naomh Eoin. Eire Oak are on 7 wides. But most importantly on the scoreboard, Naomh Eoin lead 8 points to 6. Time is ticking away.
40 seconds.
About approximately a minute left. Ball won in the middle of the field by Robert Ford. Down to John Mulcahy. A lot of ball John has played in this second half. Kicked low into Brian Lenihan. Picked up by Kieran Keating. Keating is outstanding for Naomh Eoin today. Martin Ledan to Pat Foley. Pat Foley holds on to the ball. He's not going to let go of this too easily. Into Michael Ledan. Michael loses possession. Michael has it again. He's gone up the sideline. Ball has gone all over the sideline. It's a line ball for Eire Oak. Eire Oak in a rush. Time is up. Number 24, Gary Flynn. To Barry Donnelly. Is this the last throw of the dice for Eire Oak? Number 11, Brendan Rochford. Rochford cutting in. He's tackled by Pa Geaney. Well won by Geaney. Out to Kieran Keating. To Martin Downs. To Dermot Keating. Ball kick long. To Brendan Ledan. Brendan loses possession. Ball in the hands of Shawnee Lyon. Shawnee plays it low to Fergus Flynn. Flynn is standing up, kicks the ball to Robert Ford. Ford is going forward. What's he going to do from here? He kicks long and high, and it's brought down by John Keating. Is John fouled? The referee, John Keating, is lying on the ground. Ball well pulled down. John has had to deal with some very, very awkward high balls dropping under the crossbar, but he did very well with that. He came out, and Michael
minute and 10 seconds gone.
Michael McGann is out, still on the 20-metre line. Has he given a signal? Is it a free out? Michael Talkey.
The Naomh team, number 10, David Ryan, replaces number 11, Brendan Rochford.
David Ryan goes in for Brendan Rochford. John Keating gets up, puts on his cap, checks if his leg is okay. I'm sure if Naomh Eoin win this title, that leg will recover very quickly. Ball being kicked out by John Keating. Is it time up? We're certainly well 2 minutes into overtime. Ball is kicked long, out. Fergus Flynn rises. Picked up again by John Mulcahy. Robbie Malone comes forward. Robbie kicks high, and Robbie kicks it wide. Naomh Eoin lead by 8 points to 6. The bonfires have been getting ready back in Kilbahan Cross tonight. There'll be serious celebrating to be done if Naomh Eoin can win this title. Kick out by John Keating. Michael McGann looks at his watch. Is it time up? Ball kick long. Fergus Flynn rises with Dermot Keating. Ball breaks to Gary Flynn. Barry Donnelly. Gary Flynn. Back to Barry Donnelly, free in. What will he do here? Is he going to drop it in? It looks like it's the last play for Eire. Barry Donnelly, number 15, the captain. Kicks long and high, and it's wide. Nine wides for Eire. 8 wides for Naomh Eoin. That surely is the last kick out of 2005 County Junior A football final. Naomh Eoin lead 8 points to 6. They finished level the first day, won 10 to 13 points. But most importantly, from Naomh Eoin point of view, they are now 2 points ahead. Michael Boland looking very excited and worried on the sideline here. The game is still going on. Number 10, David Ryan, has been reintroduced as a sub. Kicks high and wide again. Eire have had enough chances here to win a couple of county finals. They've had 3 bad wides in the last couple of minutes. 4 minutes extra time played. Tom Bonfield can't understand why there's so much extra time played. They're checking their watches. Michael Boland is looking at his watch as well. Why is Michael McGann playing 4 minutes overtime? Great excitement in West Clare if this title goes back to the West. The senior title is in Kilkee. Will the junior title end up in Kilbahan Cross? And play still goes on. Gary Flynn catches it. Down to Martin Ledan. Martin evades one tackle, gets it over to Michael. And Michael Ledan chased by... Oh, beautiful pick up by Michael Ledan. Fantastic skill. He's accompanied by Pagini. They can't catch him. Michael Ledan kicks high. Kicks it over the bar. A fantastic pick-up by Michael Ledan. He took on the whole Eire defence. Blistering pace. Right through, put the ball over the bar, and surely this year's county final is over. And the match is now over. The Cup Junior A Championship will return to the villages of Cross and Kilbahan tonight, and a score of 9 points to 6. There is unbridled rejoicing in the stands and on the field here. Naomh Eoin have recaptured the title they last won in '97. It's their 3rd championship title. Tom Bonfield races in. Absolutely delirious. What a day for Naomh Eoin. Many thought their chance was gone the first day when they finished 110 to 13 points level with Eire, but they've now turned it around and they've won this title on a score of 9 points to 6. So the title returns to Naomh Eoin for the third time in their history. 91, 97 and history made here today, 2005.
I'm not going to delay you with speeches or anything like that. I'm going to ask Gabriel Keating, I think he's live president of the Naomh Eoin club if I'm not mistaken, to present the trophy to Michael Nadan, the captain of the Naomh Eoin team. To present the trophy to Michael Nadan, captain of the Naomh Eoin team. So,
I've even got an oxygen tank. I'm absolutely out of my feet up here. So I'm going to keep it short. Tá Naomh Eoin current short Gachas in fair Naomh Eoin. It's a long time coming, 97. I suppose since we won in Dunbeg and you think every year you're going to be in a county final, but I was young at 97 when I won it, and it meant an awful lot to me, but it means an awful lot more now, I think, because the older you get, the more you I think you appreciate it, because it might never come around again. So I think it's the thing that if once we won it today, if we didn't win it today, I think that was it. I'd say a lot of lads would have said to hell with it, and that was it. So I think today we proved that at least we have still got the bottle, and hopefully there'll be a couple of older lads still around next year, and we keep it going then. I'd like to thank a few lads, a lot of people actually today. First of all, the supporters out there, you've been unbelievable all year. Absolutely, you've raised the roof every single game we played, and this is our 8th game today, so I suppose it's a lot of mileage around the county, and we'd like to thank you from the bottom of our hearts, because we wouldn't have done it without you, so thanks again. There's a couple of great men I'd like to thank as well. The selectors, Joe Gorman. Joe hasn't hardly missed a session all year. He's unbelievably dedicated to the trainings in particular. He's the quiet man of the selectors, but when he talks, everyone listens. So thank you, Joe. Oliver Keaton, Ollie, great man, on the line. He's done it there in 97, and he's a great head on the line as well. So when everybody around him was losing the head, maybe Ollie kept the head, and great man to give a speech before a game. So Ollie, thanks a million again. There's no point calling Jack Crowley the quiet man of the club, because if he was behind in New Pit today, you'd still hear him cheering. Gerald's a great man to come out. If the quietest, before a game and everyone's concentrated, Gerald come out with this quip that everybody start laughing at, and he's a great man to break the ice. Excellent man to have in the field as well, and he was with us in 97, so thanks again, Gerald. I suppose the man I really like to thank as well for the dedication he's been in all year is John Fennell. John is well known around the county through his dancing circles, but by God, Raymond Clancy, and Raymond I'd like to thank if he's here today as well. If he's not, I'd like to thank him anyway on behalf of the club. He was with us in 91, he was with us in 97. John Fennell's name will be on the lips of every club team in Clare in the next couple of years. If we can hold on to him, all the better, but if not, John, I wish you well in whatever you're doing, but hopefully intermediate next year we'll have you. The dedication you put in is unreal all year long. Most lads that have walked out on us early in the year with 5 or 6 lads training, but you kept it going all year, so thanks, John. I'd like to thank the players, lads. We've been together since last January, February, out behind on the pitch. We played Dunbeg, I think, in the challenge game, the first game, and I think, we probably won that day, but we didn't deserve to win, and we've lost a lot of games this year. We got relegated in the league. Nobody dropped the heads. We kept it going. I think that's due to John and the selectors. So, the attendance has been brilliant the last couple of weeks. So I'd like to thank you again from the bottom of my heart. We couldn't have done it without you today. behind me, I'd like to thank you for the life presidency of the club. He's in the background for the last couple of years, but he's always there. And if anything you ever wanted him to do anything, it's always there. He's always there. And I think with Tom and with a few lads, we've got great lads. The Maloney's on the sideline. Johnny tried there today. If we can keep those lads together for next year, we'll give a good raffle to the intermediate. So just before I go, the Eire boys, I know you've held around there for the last 10 or 15 minutes. And it's not easy. We've been on the losing side before, but by God, you gave us some 2 games. Unbelievable. The first game, I thought we'd have lost. You came back at us, you showed your mettle, and you put it up to us again today. And you've some team. I think you're going to go all the way next year in the junior A, and hopefully you will, and we'll meet you in the intermediate, hopefully. Okay, so well done. 3 cheers to Eire. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. Let's go back home. Let's go home.
Michael, when you uttered those immortal words at someone couldn't show exactly, how did you feel?
Top of the world, George.
Tom, move out a bit.
It's a dream come true, so I think it's everybody's dream to captain his club. So I think as captain today, I think and I'm just a voice for the 15 lads on the team and the lads on the line. So I suppose nobody makes up a speech beforehand because it's bad luck. So I probably forgot an awful lot of people on the speech, but I'll be thanking them later on as the week goes on. But a great feeling, great feeling.
Twice in the drawing game, you led by 4 points. Did you think your chances were gone in the drawing game?
Yeah. I mean, at half time, we always start well in every game this year, and we always start well after half time, but we always lose it about maybe towards the middle of the second half. So it came to the backs. Kieran Lynch and a few of the lads, really pulled it out of the fire because those forwards were gone. We could have missed an awful lot of scores. So it was the backs in midfield that kept us in the first game. But I think today we were under the cosh again, especially when we were in the 8-6. But I suppose we just pulled the last point out of it, and that was good enough for us.
Was there any one moment today when you felt that this could be our day?
John Keaton save, unbelievable. I had my hands in my head. I couldn't even watch it, and then I just looked up, and Shawnee Lyon kicked it, and Shawnee being, I suppose, his last year playing maybe, and I was sure he was going to roof it into the top corner of the net or something. But when John Keaton came out and saved it, I said, "This is it. We're going to win this."
And will there be any work in the peninsula, do you think, the coming week?
I don't think so. Half the peninsula is here today, so most of the peninsula are here, so there won't be a cow milk in the immortal words, I suppose, the thing there won't be a cow milk in West Clare this year. But I think the supporters have been with us all year, and they deserve it more than even the players, I think. So we will definitely celebrate well into maybe there might be another bank holiday this Monday.
Okay, Michael. Thanks a million.
Thank you, Georgie. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Kieran, you got the job of marking their dangerman to August dangerman Brian Lennon. How did you cope with that?
I did okay, I suppose. He didn't score anyway, so that was the main objective, and I didn't give away too many frees, I don't think. Yeah, he's young and he's fast, all right, but I suppose I used a bit of my experience to keep him the right side of me at all time anyway. And a few of the balls broke off him, he was a bit unlucky, a couple of balls, and they broke my way, and that's with a bit of luck and a bit of experience and whatever, we got there anyway.
This is your third medal.
That's right.
Is this the highlight?
It is, yeah. I suppose this one was the hardest one probably for me. I mean, the first one I was only playing for a few years, and the second one there was another couple of years back in junior. But this one we've been trying since '97, really. We've been meeting for a couple of years, but we've been back, in junior for a few years, and it's been on a league basis. So the year has been longer than that. So it's been more work now. This year has been a long year, and last year was the same. We got to semi-final, so yeah, this one I suppose will be sweet now when I sit back and think about it.
Where do you think you won it today? On what section of the field?
I thought that there wasn't a lot of ball that came into their full forward line like that. My man, and the same with the other corner, they got very few chances. So the guys cut out the position. Foley had a good game, I thought. He's and the lads around him, Pagani and Tony in the half-back line, cut out a lot of the ball coming through. Whether they made mistakes and put it in the wrong place or what, but we just didn't seem to be under that much pressure until the last few minutes there. A lot of their scores before that were from frees. So I suppose we cut out their possession coming from their half-backs into our half-forwards. And the lads in half-forwards today, more than the last, they put pressure on their kickers, and force them to hoof the ball up to us or hoof the ball up to our end more than the last day. They had less time to pick out passes than that, and maybe that's where we won it. I suppose Seamus kicked a few nice frees as well. Like most chances we got there when we needed to, he scored them. And around the pitch, everyone I suppose did their bit.
Was there any one moment that will stick in your memory for the rest of your days out of that game today?
I suppose the one in terms of that I thought we had won was when I knew the time must have been up and Mikey scored the point there. And I was hoping he'd be fouled. He was running through and I was hoping he'd be brought down because I thought like there might be not a minute or whatever, and just to make sure of it, a free would be better than a point at that stage. But he kicked the point anyway, fair play to him, as he usually does. I suppose then I thought we would have it. I expected the whistle to come, and that'll stick in the memory. I mean, on the negative end, they had a good chance and they hit the post that came out, and the other corner got it at the edge of the square and he went for goal and John dived and saved it. So I'll remember that one too, because that would have put him probably a point up, or certainly level. I'm not sure. I'd say we're only 2 up at that stage. I would have probably put him a point up. It would have been hard to come back at him again, but we'd have done it all right maybe. We might have forced extra time out of it if it had to.
And finally, Kieran, seeing that you're one of the older citizens there, is there any talk of retiral back in Naomh Eoin?
There's been talk. There's been a lot of talk, but no, I'm not retiring. I'm giving it next year anyway, at least, and we'll see after that. Please God, we'll be fit enough to do it, and we'll keep going. I may be 38 like Georgie. It's not a time to come about retiring. We know you're 38, for God's sake.
Well, congratulations again, Kieran, on your third medal.
Thank you very much.
Well done. Joined by Martin Downs and Martin Hock, the engine room of the Naomh Eoin team. Lads, you had a couple of big men to deal with out there today, Martin. How did you cope with them?
I didn't think we played well. We didn't play that well either today, like the two of us. Last week we played okay in the first half, but second half we were bad, and today we were kind of out of it as well after a long time, But I suppose we came good in the finish.
Yeah. Where did you think they were strong around the field, Martin?
Well, they were strong in the midfield, but there was that full back came, or the full forward came out that 2 midfield, and he crippled us there in the first half, He was strong,
Michael Lidan took an awful lot of pressure off you when you got the ball up there. What do you think of his performance?
Well, of course, today they had him checking a lot more, he didn't get the room as he got the Leicester, but fair play to him, when he got it, he held it, and he took it. Even as long as he killed it, he gave us the chance, Right. But he had to keep doing it for us, right. We were kind of dying away with it.
Martin, turn to you. Robert Ford arrived out there for a lot of that game. He was doing a lot of punch ball. How did you cope with that?
I don't know, we didn't cope too well. Usually now we try and catch the ball, but today it wasn't a case of catching at all. He was coming in with no intention of catching and just breaking it, and I don't know, he got the best of us all right, but at the end of the day we got the most scores, so that's the main thing anyway.
Was there any one moment that stood out in that game for you?
I think when Michael Dan got the score in the second half, he went off on a run and he kicked the ball at full flight and it went over. I mean, that was crucial. We were under a lot of pressure on our backs to get the ball out for us, and then it was great to see the ball going up the end of the field anyway, and we were feeling tired at that time.
At what stage of the game did you feel that this was going to be your day?
I'd say that score at the end, the last score that put us 3 points clear, and going into the last few minutes, by then I felt really safe. I mean, up until that it was...
John Finlay would say, when the referee's the ball in his hand, he says he's walking off the pitch, that's when it's safe, he says, And he was fucking right too.
Yeah.
Now, what are your plans for the rest of the weekend and for next week?
I don't know.
I suppose we might go for we'll do what the key boys do, maybe.
We'll do what you guys do, yeah.
A light social drink, as they said, is it?
There'll be a few bonfires on West Clare.
I hope so. Well, there was last time, I said it will be again, yeah.
Okay, congratulations, Martin Downs and Martin Hock.
Well
done. Right, I'm joined by Kieran Lynch and Pat Foley, number 3, number 6, and the successful Naomh Eoin team. Kieran, starting with you, where did you think all the pressure came from Eire today?
Well, they worked it up to the middle a lot. Tried to draw out their full forward to make more space inside, I thought. It was hard to know where to go out or come in. But I stayed inside anyway, it worked okay for us.
You had a couple of close calls near the end there. What got you out of jail?
Look, just goes for people in the day. Either do or you don't. You get your breaks in the day. You could have easily went into the net as well. So,
what stage of the game did you think that was going to be your day?
5 minutes after the whistle, I
Okay. Pat, turning to you. Where do you think your strengths lay today on the Naomh Eoin team?
Well, the first day we played some great football in spells, and today we kept it going throughout the game consistently, and we were called on a bit of heart. We lacked a bit of heart the last day. We were under pressure. The last 15 minutes of both halves, we kind of dropped the heads when they put it up to us. But today, when they put it up to us, I think we reacted better. We attacked the ball. We got out in front of our men. Our full back line there was brilliant today. There was long balls kicked in the last day. The corner forwards were picking it up and running. Today, the corner forwards weren't even getting the ball. Our full back line was out in front of their men. And it was a great lift to see them lads coming out with it. First out to the ball. We were that today. I don't think we were the first day. we're at it all the last 2 weeks that we had to step it up a gear, that we had to dictate the pace. And once we knew we'd do that, we were well in the show for winning.
Your defence as a unit was outstanding today. Where did you feel that when you got the ball out of defence, where were the strong points you were looking for to get the ball to?
Well, we were told that week to keep it wide open, keep it playing football. I mean, any of us saw the county final and senior final last week, they keep playing, and they kept playing football. And it's a thing with Naomh Eoin as well. We're a good football inside, and lads said we lack strength. The last day, when they put it up to us in the middle of the field and crowded out, we weren't up to it. But I think today we're up for it. And when we found the wings, found Michael Ledane, Seamus, Vincent, Dermot, Martin Ledane, tremendous work. Brendan Ledane when he was there, all the forwards, Vincent Henry when he came on, Garrod, outstanding stuff in the wing. He's kind of sacrificed as a forward. He comes back, covers the space in front of us, gives us a chance to attack in the backs and work the ball through the middle. But outstanding scores today again, Michael Ledane and Seamus Boland. Brilliant.
Kieran and Pat, both of you have 2 junior medals now, so it's intermediate now. When is the intermediate championship going to rest back in Cross and Kilbeha?
Hopefully we'll take a break now, I'd say, for a few nights, and we'll talk about intermediate next year. But I mean, we're not going to get swelled heads. Like, we're going to go. It's all about attitude and heart. Like, take each game as it comes. I mean, you can't talk about winning an intermediate championship when you get the first round. Do you know, the first round is the hardest part. Anything can happen after that. The same thing. That's the way we went this year. We took every game, as it came along. Like, and we kept it. It was a tough battle all year. Like, it was a strong game in the semi-final, and we kept going. It wasn't easy, but we kept at it, and we're here now.
Okay, well done again, Kieran and Pat, on your championship victory. Well done. Okay, Michael, tell us about the preparation for this championship, the amount of work you did during the year and how often you met, etc.
Well, I'll have to leave that up to John and John Finnell, because I was only in the background, but they prepared harder than they ever prepared before for any championship we won, any game we won. The training, everything was done, everything was looked after. There was no stone left unturned, and we had a feeling this year this was going to be our year because of the couple of lads there that are getting old. But in fairness, there was no stone left unturned in our side or in the lads that were training. And we proved it today, because we were supremely confident coming into this game today that we were going to beat Eire.
Well done. John, tell me about the commitment involved from the players.
Georgie, sure, they're a great bunch of fellas, like, do you know what I mean? They put in huge work this year. Travelled, do you know what I mean? Travelled from Cork, and even a guy today travelled from Dallas to be here for the final, But a great commitment, but driven on by John, like, do you know what I mean? John was the man. John drove him on. From the Clare game, I sensed that things were going to happen for us this year, because every game we played, we deserved to win them games this year. Last year, we were winning games, but we were going bad. But this year, every game we won, starting with the Clare game, we won, and the Callans Mills game, we drew it and we won it again. And luckily that we drew the last day here. We learned from our mistakes. John told the players and showed the mistakes, and we put it right today. And this is it's a great achievement to win the junior championship, because this is only the third time we've won it, so it is a great day for us.
Okay, John, many felt your chance was gone from the drawing game. You led by 4 points twice in that game. How did you motivate the players to tell them that their chance wasn't gone, that they were back in this with a real fight?
Well, it was very, very simple, Georgie. I mean, to turn on the first half of the game, 6 points apiece at half time, analyse the Eire scores. Where did they come from? They came from mistakes, ball given away cheaply by our own team. The boys put up their hands. They were very honest with themselves all week long, and they put up their hands and they said, by right, the score was 6 points to 0 at half time. If we had cut out all the mistakes, and that's what we did today. We cut out the mistakes. Second half of the drawn game, much the same thing. Got our lead, lost our concentration, and gave the initiative back to Eire. Today, we got ahead. We were never been led at any stage in the drawn game, or today. We have never been led by Eire. We were never behind at any stage. We haven't been behind all year long, and that's what I kept drilling into the boys. They were the only unbeaten team coming back into this final today, and we had nothing. We were afraid of nothing. The boys had a lot to answer for. Each player had to stand up and be counted. The occasion got to the younger boys the last day. It didn't get them today. They were in the game right from the throw-in. They got involved. They put in the tackles. Eire didn't walk cheaply through defences the way they walked through the last day, and they were expecting to walk through. But they were met with a wall of defence today. And I would credit this victory today to the 6 boys in the back line today. They worked tirelessly throughout the game. You know, it's easy to get the scores on the other end of the park and create the spaces, but all credit due to the 6 boys today. They're still up to be counted.
Right, you had many good individual displays there, in fact outstanding individual displays, but it was as a unit I felt you won the game. There was some fantastic football played, particularly in the second half out of defence.
Yes, the objective of the game today was, unlike the last day, we were going to carry the ball to centre field. See what became of it, see how the spaces opened up, and then work your ball in. The last day, we carried the ball out, we drove it out, straight into rogue attacks, and they propelled us back in our backsides again to last day. Today they didn't do that, and they were picking scraps with 10 minutes to go. They were trying to grab a lifeline and get back into the game. Keeper kept us in it, in all fairness to him. He brought off a couple of marvellous saves. Full back fielded some great ball in there. But you rightly said, George, it was a team performance today. Okay, there's a lot goes to Pat Foley and Michael Adan, inter-county experience in that, and Seamus Boland. But those boys, we knew they were going to be shepherded today. They were well marked. They were picked out the last day because they did the damage the last day. Today, other boys did the damage.
Okay.
You know.
John, turning to you, at what stage did you feel that the cup was going to rest back in Cross and Kilbaha tonight?
Well, in the second half, with the performance of the defence, I felt confidence once we made a good start there in the second half. I felt then it was going west.
Right, okay. And Michael, what are the plans for the coming week? There won't be many cows milked, I'd say, back around the peninsula this week.
Everyone is off now for the week, and we must follow Kilkee next Sunday.
Okay, all right. Thanks again, John and Michael.
Thanks.
Joe, you're part of the 3 wise men. What moves did you make today that brought the cup back to West Clare?
Well, I suppose we tried a lot of little moves. I couldn't tell you one in particular that worked, but I think overall it was just a great team performance. Everyone, anything that was asked of them, they did, and I couldn't really say there was one move in particular. But you know, we knew the Johnny Line, he liked the high ball, and we tried to get the ball in behind him. Once that went in, we had them in inside to score. You know.
Okay, Joe. What players stood out for you on the Naomh Eoin team today?
I suppose from number 1 to number 21, really. Every one of them have given it their heart all year long. You couldn't pick out one individual above anyone else now, in fairness today. They're brilliant lads. The amount of training, the amount of work they've done is unreal. So they're just a brilliant squad to work with.
Oliver, where do you think he won that game today?
I suppose bringing Dermot out to midfield, Dermot Keaton had a big influence in the game, and when you win midfield, you're in with a great chance. And the amount of hitting that Seamus and Michael and the forwards took and just got on with it, held their heads, kept going, took their frees, took their scores when they got their chances. That was the winner. Solid defence, brilliant. John played brilliant in goals. Defence solid, won midfield, and we won in the forwards. And when you do all that, you're going to win. Simple as that.
Ger, what was the outstanding moment of that game for you today?
I think the ball coming off the upright, it went to the Eire man, and like he said, John made a magnificent save. At that stage, I think we were 2 points up. If they had scored that time, we would have lifted them, and we would have been in deep trouble. But fair play to him, he pulled off a great save, and we have the cup now.
Joe, who were you worried about on that Eire team today?
Well, sure, Barry Donnelly and I think Rory O'Brien wing forward caused a lot of trouble the last day. But in fairness, our wing backs, they played outstanding today. Tony Doherty, Pagini, Pat Foley, outstanding. Johnny Lyon, great player, has proved it all along. Great fielder ball, but I think we got the better of them today.
Well, there's any truth in the rumour that Donny Buckley and his men will be looking for 3 extra wise men from the peninsula.
Well, I don't know if they're looking for anyone that's out in the field, I'd say, never mind the sideline, but there's certainly a few on the field that they do well to keep an eye on.
Okay.
But I'd say we'll stick with the crowd we have.
Okay, thanks again from the 3 wise men,
thanks,
Oliver, Joe and Ger. They were back in the peninsula approximately a year. What has struck you about the commitment of the Naomh Eoin players?
Well, what struck me, I suppose, was the way that they stuck together all the year, you know, and I suppose early in the year I remembered it was very difficult, you know, just to get things going, and well, now I was only on the outsides and just looking in, but then once the championship started, I just felt that there was a kind of an excitement or a buzz about it, and lads interested in talking about the game, and you know, so that's what struck me, was just the way the team kind of rallied around each other.
Father, what players stood out for you today in the field for Naomh Eoin?
Well, I suppose what really struck me more than the player, than any one player, was the way that they stuck to their purpose, their plans. You know, they stayed focused all through, and they were talking about it there during the week. You know, that the big thing was that they would stay focused, stay concentrating, and I think that everyone did it throughout the field today. They never gave up. You know, and even there at the end when Eire were coming at them, you know, they just just kept rallied around each other, and so it was more the team effort. But no, lots of people stood out, or lots of people played great football. But to me, that was what that'll stick with me. The way that they kind of play together for each other.
Right. Is there any truth in the rumour that you were asked to say a lot of masses over the last couple of weeks?
I was asked to say a good few prayers, all right.
Okay, thanks again, Father, for that.
Lovely.
Thanks. Gabriel, Naomh Eoin is in existence 31 years now. How does today compare with the highlights of those years?
I would say to compare, there's no comparison. Today has been superb. Like in the other years, in the 90s, we had the nucleus of teams all along. We have been winning and losing. But today, you had youth, you had experience. And I think we'll do a lot for the parish. It's a mighty occasion. It's a fantastic win.
Ger, Oliver and Joe are locals, but you brought in John Finnell. Tell me about the influence of John.
I think you could see the influence of John there in the backup play, in the support play, especially there towards the end when things were getting tough. John Keating came out there under balls, dangerous balls, found his man, then turned and found their men, and next thing it ended up with Michael Edan or Seamus Bourne at the far side, popping it over.
What did you think was the strong point of the Naomh Eoin team today?
I think, of course, you'd have to single out the performance of Michael Edan. He's a great man. He's really, really superb. And of course, he didn't win 3 Seagulls and Cups for nothing, But I think that what stood out today was the back play and the support play. I mean, we never had that before. You get a ball, you're clear, you'll be glad to get rid of it in a junior match. But like today, we were able to deliver.
Right. Eire really put on the pressure there for the last couple of minutes of normal time and the 4 minutes of extra time. How worried were you at that stage?
I was very worried because everybody that went out seemed to come in again. You get that feeling. But as I said before, John Keating was superb in goals, and I was happy once he was in control. I felt that we could hold him out,
Okay, Gabriel, congratulations again on Naomh Eoin's third junior title, and we look forward to them annexing the intermediate title in the years to come.
Well, Georgie, it's great to talk to you, and you were such a great player yourself, played for Clare and played for Kilkee, and you kept the flag flying for years. And I'm delighted to see you back involved again, and of course it's also good to see Joe, and it's a great day for Naomh Eoin. It's a great day for us all, and I suppose when you think of the 6th of January 74, and then when we won our first championship our first league in November 76, we've come a long way, and I'd say you've only seen the start of this team. Okay. Thanks again.
Congratulations, okay. Gabriel. Paddy, what brought a man resident in Dublin, a Naomh Eoin man, back to West Clare today?
Well, I suppose all down through the years, I remember the day Naomh Eoin was started in 74, and when we were growing up, through no fault of anybody, we often went down to Hayes to be collected to go to a match, and the worst thing going is not to be collected, through no fault of anybody at the time. We didn't have a pitch or a ball. So thanks to the people that got it going in 74, and from that day onwards, I always said whatever we could do, the Gibsons and the Bonfils and Finbar Lynch and whoever else above, we would do our best to keep the Naomh Eoin team going. So that's really the reason, and I just want to congratulate the lads, and especially the lads, if the rest of the team don't mind me saying, Michael Medan went up to County Meath, and I suppose Dermot Keaton went down to Cork, and when they decided to come back, they came back to Naomh Eoin, so I think that was very important. So all I have to say is congratulations, and the journey from Dublin doesn't really matter once Naomh Eoin won.
Right, Marty, you've been at all the matches this year. Which match, at what stage did you think that this was going to be Naomh Eoin's year?
Well, the evening again, Kilfenora and Milltown. They played some lovely football.
Right. Did it match the teamwork that they had today here? They had some very good individual performances today, but their teamwork was superb.
Oh, it was. And they did players come into today that wasn't in it all the year. We won't mention any names, but they're up to the occasion today.
Is there any truth in the rumour that you went to Father Casey back there and asked him to say a lot of prayers over the last number of weeks?
Well, he's a help penny. He's only in the parish for just over a year, and fair play to him, a grand man, and I suppose he said a few, and they were needed.
Paddy, is there any truth in the rumour you're taking a week off? You won't be going back to Dublin for about a week?
Well, seeing I was down last weekend, I took in the county final, and congratulations to Kilkee. I enjoyed it, and I was down the weekend before that. But anyhow, I would be coming down, I suppose, to see my parents. But definitely, we probably could make a day or two out of it. But we'll enjoy it because it's very important to us. As we say, we're back at the very end of the peninsula, and the next parish is America. So we'll make the most of it. These days are very important days.
Tom, you've thrown in your lot now with a team in Limerick called Monaleen. How important is Naomh Eoin to you?
Sure, George, Naomh Eoin will always be important to me. I've played with Naomh Eoin since I was 14 years old. I moved to Limerick in 1978. I'm down there 25 years. I suppose I'd love to be involved in a more influential capacity within the club. I acted as a selector for the last couple of years. When John took over chairman of the club, I gave him a hand for 2 years. We won the Banner Cup. And I found this year particularly, as you mentioned, Monaleen. I'm living in Monaleen now. I'm very involved with the juvenile board, and we have a successful under-14 team, and my own lads are playing in that. And I suppose there comes a time when you have to pull back a bit. And I've decided in the last year or two to pull back. But I always look out for the results from Naomh Eoin. I've always coached the matches as much as I can. I haven't been to see them all this year, but I made it my business to see the final certainly. And today's replay is just absolutely brilliant for the club.
Is it a coincidence that Monaleen are red and Naomh Eoin are red? Is that the reason you picked Monaleen?
That's probably a fair assessment of it. I'm delighted that it is red and white. I know you being a Kilkee man wouldn't agree with that. You're blue and white, but it's great to have the red and white flag flying in the driveway. I've had it flying in the driveway since Monaleen won the senior championship 6 weeks ago at this stage, and now I can say it's a Naomh Eoin flag. So I really couldn't lose that one, could I, George?
At what time today, Tom, or what stage in the match did you feel it was going to be Naomh Eoin's day?
I felt when number one Eire hit the crossbar late the second half, I said our luck is in, because we've actually never won a championship final replay until today. I played in 9 finals. I lost 7 in a row, and of the 7 in a row we lost, 5 in a row, 3 of them went to replays. And today somebody said in Tubridy's after the draw match, Naomh Eoin had never won a replay. So today's a bit of history in itself. Naomh Eoin have won a replay. It's the first time they've won a championship final replay, and I suppose they've broken that hoodoo now, and hopefully they'll go on. It's great for the club, it's great for the peninsula. We're a small club, very small parish. I suppose a population of 300 or 400 people, struggling to put out numbers, as you can see, with only 16, 17, 18 players. And it's great, particularly as the lads said, that the players that are able to play can come back and play. I travelled with Naomh Eoin for training up and down for 15, 16 years with the Milanis. And, you know, when the time comes, I suppose, to pull back, you got to do so. But I'm still my heart is in Naomh Eoin, will always be. And it's great that Monaleen are red and white, as you say.
And finally, Tom, your son Dara was at the game today. Is there any truth in the rumour he's been groomed to wear the red of Naomh Eoin?
Well, he's wearing red and white anyway at the moment. He said to me today he wanted to come to see the match. So I suppose maybe that's a good start. He's coming to see the match. No more than Barry Fitzpatrick playing next Sunday for Monaleen. He maybe should be wearing some, when people tell you maybe blue and white. Daisy Crowe said to me coming in today, he says, how come all these West Clare fellas are going down to Limerick? And Peter O'Connell smiled and said to Peter, it's a thing called employment. Unfortunately, that's the way life is. Dara would love to play obviously with Naomh Eoin, but the thing is he's grown up in Monaleen, his friends are in Monaleen. But we won't rule it out. It might happen in the future, George.
Okay. How did you feel, Tom, when Michael Ledan lifted the cup, which was for the 3rd time in the history of Naomh Eoin?
When Michael Ledan lifted the trophy, the Turner Cup there, it's 30 odd years, as you say, 3 times in 30 years. It was just fantastic. Relief to see it. More relief than joy, I think. A lot of people were crying actually. I looked around me and there were several people crying with enjoyment and crying with excitement. But I just looked there and said, God, I hope it's not going to be maybe 7 or 8 years again. But having said that, a moment of just fantastic relief, I thought, because I didn't really want them to lose this replay. I mean, to lose a replay would be tough justice on this team, because they've fought really hard in the 2 matches, particularly with the last 10 minutes there. They defended heroically, tremendous defending. Eire got a few chances, and at the end of the day, the presentation was made by Gabriel, which I thought was a great gesture on behalf of the county board. He's the life president of the club, to present the trophy to Michael Ledan, and I said it was one of sheer relief as far as I was concerned.
Okay, congratulations again, Tom, on your 3rd time.
Okay, George, thank you very much.
And that's it from Clare, where Naomh Eoin won the Turner Cup for the 3rd time in their history. 91, 97 and now 2005. They beat Eire today on a score of 9 points to 6.